Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our team call. We are back at it. It's February. This is the last Wednesday in February. And we have a really great speaker today, someone who continually shows up, continues to kill it. When you'll hear her name more than once on the recognition that we've got coming up for our team. I'm having to raise the standards each week about what I have to recognize people for, what I get to recognize our team for, because there's so many names of people really doing some crazy things that, okay, I can't do half of our call as recognition, but know that I see you, whether you added one coach or 50, or whether you have one Success Club point or whether you have 30, know that I see your name and I think you're doing awesome. So even if you don't hear your name, know that you're a rock star and you're helping someone. So you deserve to be really proud of yourself. Okay, so let's start today with Success Club points. Let's see if that one can be the first one up. Because, the 3 Lives Club, or the 5 Lives Club of what we've kind of been moving into calling it, because I think this really helps a lot of our new coaches recognize that it's more than just a number. Right? So for helping at least 5 people, but my computer's thinking again, but Rachel Baldwin is leading this month. We have still 5 days left. So if you don't hear your name on this list yet, know that you still have time and reach out to your upline or look through our team page about how you can still help at least 3 people this month, because it will grow your business in ways that you don't even expect. I keep hearing that people who hit Success Club their first 3 months in their business on average make 80% more than those that don't. So if you are doing this to have some form of an extra income, obviously Success Club or helping the 3 Lives Club, this is the way to go. So Rachel Baldwin has 18, Jeanette Green has 14. This is big. I know she's been pushing to get here since she started, so this is big for her. Jill Barnum 13, Tamsin is 13, Carly Souza, a new coach, 13, Sarah Boldman 12, Ashley Dean 12. Oh, sorry, I have 15. Sorry, I don't always like to throw that in there. Heather Chalupa, 11. Jenna Evie, 10. Renee Novak, 10. Becca Wasso, 10. Kim Gillenoff, 10. And Kelly Webster, 10. Now, I know a few of you have second business centers or your spouses, so just know that I see that too. But for helping at least 3 people, so Success Club 5, we have Caitlin Met with 9, Amy Rule with 9, Kathy Benson with 8, Carrie Webb, 8, Kimberly Winsitson, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, 7, Kim Sink, 7, Brittany Kane, 6, Allison Taminsky, 6. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of 6s. Don't let me get too far. Brittany Filler, Haley Bowser, Lindsay Delaney, Christy Vugtavine, Kristen Idzikowski, Wendy Willis, Stephanie Reynolds, Katie Glasser, Jackie Pitts, Brianne Vugtavine, Monica Clint McCrossin, Marissa Newhouse, and then Melissa Wardy has 5. So way to go, you guys. Awesome. That number is growing and growing. Okay, so now let's see who really was our next. How many of you were able to talk about this business opportunity, talk about how this can change people's lives, or even just get a discount on products we love? So leading our recruiter is Rachel Baldwin with 12. I'm next with 7. Jeanette Green has 6. Charlie Souza, 5. Erin Cermak, 5. Kim Gillenoff, 5. Ashley Dean, Caitlin Met, Kelly Webster, Renee Novak, Sarah Boldman have 4. Amy Rule, Jackie Pitts, Jenna Evie, Jill Barnum, Kathy Benson, Monica Deering, Monica McCrossin, Sarah Brya, Stephanie Reynolds, and Tamsin have 3 each. Way to go. And then at 2 each, this is a really long list. Oh my gosh. Allison Taminsky, Allison Meyer, Amy Clevenger, Becca Wasso, Brianne Vugtavine, Brittany Kane, Cassie Brown, Gina Murdoch, Heather Masick, Kim Sink, Christina Adams, Lindsay Delaney, Liz Bazin, Mandy Sherrill, Rachel McFeeder, Samantha Pohl, who will be a new Emerald tomorrow. Let's cheer for her for a second. Sarah Lefevre, Sarah Larsh, and Shelby Veach. Okay, and then the final one is volume. This is always a hard one for me. I'm never really in this huge volume, and it is because of that coach balance, but this means that you're helping a lot of people get going in challenge groups and continuing to buy Shakeology. So our top 10 volume earners of this month so far, all having over 1,000, that's all I'm announcing today, are, and I'll just read from the top down. Heather Chalupa, Jenna Evie, Jill Barnum, Christy Vigtavine, Melissa Wardy, Becca Wasso, Kelly Helminski, Hampson West, Aaron Cermak, Amy Rule, Sarah Brya, and Kathy Benson. Alrighty, so as I told you, we have a lot of recognition, and I'm really proud of you guys. Keep pushing. We still have, 5 days left in the month, so make it bigger. Don't ever, and I learned this early on, don't ever kind of come into the last week of the month with that scarcity mentality, like, oh, I'm not going to invite anyone else because I've already hit Success Club, or I've already, reached out to a few coaches. You have to go hard until the very last minute to see if you can top your personal best. This is a team cup month, and, they're watching. Your team is watching you, and if you're just going to stop at 10 or, 5 or 18 or whatever you're at, you'll be doing yourself a disservice and all the people you can help a disservice too. Alrighty, so Rachel's up, and she's going to talk to us about how to kill it every month over and over and over again with some really crazy Success Club numbers. So take it away, girl, and then, I'll be ready at the end. If you have any questions, type them into chat, and then also if you stay on all the way to the end, I'll be doing a little prize giveaway too. Okay, so here we go. Everyone mute themselves too. Actually, I'm going to mute everyone, and then Rachel, you can unmute yourself, okay?
Cool.
Just because I noticed some people are not muted, and not everyone knows how to do that. Okay. Continue. Okay, Rachel, unmute yourself and hit it.
Thank you. I'm excited to chat with you guys today about something that I feel I'm pretty good at in the business, and it's really helped me, like Wendy said, create a consistency in this business. I'll say that word a lot, and a sustainability within this business. But I never feel like I start the month and I'm like, I got this in the bag. Like, it's not like that. I don't think throwing up big numbers is something that is just easy for some people. I just work consistently and do these certain behaviors I'm going to talk to you about every month, because it is part of my goals. It's a non-negotiable for me to have a certain number each month. I've been coaching for a year this month in February, and I've been throwing up helping around 10 to 15 people a month since July. I looked back at my numbers. So when I started doing that is when I started noticing my business really take off. And because I was able to help more people, I was more confident, which I'll talk about, and people started to notice that I was having success with this, like, oh, then maybe I want to give it a try with her. So I don't think Success Club numbers is like the end all to this business by any means. And we know it's just one certain part of our income. But I do think it's crucial in that sustainability over time, and the prizes don't hurt either. That's kind of what motivated me at first, was when I started the first time I hit Success Club 10, it was because when I had, for that month, they had said, if you hit Success Club 10 and have a combined for the 2 months of X amount of points, you can go to this party at Summit. And I was like, well, that would be embarrassing if I can't go. And I was like, that was way outside my comfort zone to hit 10 alone and then to go above it. I was like, okay, but I'm going to do it. I want to be there. So just, you have to have that mindset that you are going to throw up at whatever number. My goal is typically 20, getting myself to 10 and my husband to 10 so that we can both get Shakeology leads. So I have a PowerPoint so I have something to talk off of. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to present. I don't know how. Oh, here. Hello. I use Google every day, but okay. So I'm going to talk about how to get big Success Club points every month consistently. So first of all, Success Club has to be a non-negotiable for you. It's something that might look different for you to me, and that's okay. Like, don't apologize for your goals, and I'm not going to apologize for mine. And so a non-negotiable for me is minimum Success Club 10 for me. That is my minimum, and I am not really comfortable stopping there just because of my goals. But so anyways, what that means, if it's non-negotiable, like if I'm at 8, and it's the last day, I might be, signing up grandma to get a challenge pack or whatever. So Success Club 10 is a non-negotiable for me. It happens. So, but it's still a non-negotiable. If I was at 8 on February 29th, then I would be signing somebody in my family up with a challenge pack, even out of my pocket. It's a non-negotiable for me. Consistency is key, and we hear this over and over and over and over and over again, but it's so true. You have to be consistent. Today, I found it. So even I was moving into my now home that we were fixing up. It was trashed. I was working on the house from 14 hours a day and trying to work in my classroom. It was crazy. So I wasn't always having time to connect with people or whatever, but I was making sure to post to stay relevant. And then when I did have time to work, that was paying off. People were keeping up with my stuff, and I was posting about how, I was extra busy and still getting in that 30-minute workout and all of that. So it makes a difference for sure. Are you using a script? And I'm going to go into depth about more of these, but are you using a script? And I'll talk about the benefits that I believe there are for using a script in your business for lots of different things. Are you offering just the program, or are you just offering challenge packs? Are you a positive, confident person? And are you inviting? Are you actually inviting? So I'm going to talk about posting. Like I said, you need to be posting 3 to 5 times a day, and find a good time for you. So one of my coaches and I were talking about that. Actually, a really tractionable, I don't know if that's a word, but good time for her is at 10:30. That's when her market is scrolling through Facebook. So she utilizes that. So find times that work for you. I'm a teacher, so I try to post at the end of a school day so that other teachers, I know I sit at my desk for a couple minutes and scroll. So I know other people are doing that too. Make sure you're being you. And that can be, and you need to be engaging. And so with what you're posting, is it something I want to stop what I'm doing, stop my scroll to read your words, read what you posted, look at your picture. Do I want to like it? Are you adding value, or are you just posting a picture without expanding on why I should stop my scroll and read what you're doing? I've found that it's hugely beneficial to follow up with likes and comments. The likes is huge. And Facebook just changed their thing today too, to have emoji likes, which will be interesting. But because oftentimes, think about yourself, how often do you really, really like a post, and you might be really actually interested, but you're nervous to comment and put yourself out there. You're not ready to put yourself out there and message somebody. They might not be ready for that, but if you then come to them, they might feel more comfortable opening up. And so what I do is, if somebody likes a post, I typically, I try to group a bunch of posts together. So like 2 times a week, I go back through my posts that were about fitness or Shakeology or eating right, and go through those likes of people that aren't on my team yet and say, like, thank you so much for liking my post. I super appreciate the support. I ask them a question, or I say like, this is so working for me. I'm so passionate about it. How are you? Or I ask them a question based on, I take a second to look through their profile if there's something I can engage with that way. With posting, I feel it's important to have a balance of your life, a balance of those sweaty selfies, Shakeology, etc. So developing your brand is super, super important. So a huge part of my brand is I'm a teacher. So I capitalize on that, and I post things I'm using in my classroom that I think are cool, or, struggles that I know teachers are having. I'm adding that value, and it's engaging for teachers. And always, always, always take your conversations to a private message, text, email, whatever. Don't have a conversation in the thread, because you don't know who's going to go through your thread, and something you say or something another person might say might deter them. And it's not their conversation. You need to be focused on them and their goals. And you don't want that conversation could look different person to person. So always take your conversations privately. Posting is really tricky, right? This took me a long time. I was really fearful of posting and not really wanting to post. And I found that people actually are interested in that positive thing to see on Facebook. So, but it's an art, especially with how many, products are out there, how many network marketing things are out there, and how many coaches there are, right? They might have 5 to choose from. Why should they choose you? So using correctly sized photos, make sure your picture is striking. So maybe you're posting it on Instagram first to use a filter, or you're using a filter in Photify, or whatever your app you're using to enhance your photos. Everyone say it with me: no more stock photos. No stock photos. People don't want to see stock photos because that means literally nothing to them. I did this, so I like cringe now that I did that, because people, it's just a thing to them. It has nothing to do with you. And really, like I said, there's so many people out there. Why are they going to choose you? So if you're going to use one, make sure your beautiful smiling face is with it, okay? And because that will also be more eye-catching than, oh, it's just another product. Because we all know the other businesses that are out there, that's all they do. That's how they market, and scroll right past, right? No one wants to stop and look at it. So no more stock photos. Okay. Use good spacing in your posts. And that seems kind of like a silly thing to say, I suppose. But yeah, you need to not have it all like chunked together in one piece, because think about, if you see somebody post like that, do you really stop and read like this super long run-on paragraph? But if it's broken up into little smaller chunks, like 1 to 2 sentences a piece, then it's more appealing to your eye, and you're more likely to stop and read what they're saying. So you utilize that, and you get more post engagement that way, because they have to expand and click read more. So it's kind of strategical a little bit, but mostly it's just easier to read, and people will be more likely to stop and read what you're saying if it's not overwhelming to them. Oftentimes I see a friend that I actually might be really interested in what they're saying, but like that, I can't even look at super long paragraphs. So I just keep going. use like catchy keywords or phrases or slogans or hashtags, depending on what your platform you're using. But if you're on Facebook, make sure your first line is something that makes somebody want to stop and see or read what you're talking about. So be catchy with that. Posting is tricky. It's an art, but work on it. And yeah. Okay, so scripts. Some reasons I use scripts. I think this is huge, and this has been a gigantic blessing in my business to have scripts, because I'm busy and I have suffered from a condition called word vomiting. And how many times, like, if you haven't talked with somebody in a couple days and they message you back, like, and if you're not using a script, then you have to go back and like see like, oh, what have I talked to them about? Or if you were to just keep going, maybe you repeat yourself. That's embarrassing. I've done that before. Or you skip something like the price. I've done that before. So scripts make my life way less hectic. I'm unable to word vomit because it's all right there for me. It keeps the conversation moving forward because I don't have to stop and type out what I'm saying. If you're really good with your words and you're confident in that, I'm not going to, like, that's just not a skill that I have. So, like I'm saying a zillion times in this conversation, and I'm just not good with my words. So that's just something I recognize about myself, and it keeps me able to hit all my key points in talking about all the different parts of a challenge pack that they need to know, but doesn't include all of the things that they will know once they get their challenge pack. I don't need to bog them down with like, oh, you'll get this many recipes of chicken and this many soup recipes. No, they don't need to know that right now, you know. And it just makes tracking conversations so much simpler. So when I open it up, all I have to look back is the last thing I said, which should be one up. And then I can quickly respond. If they asked a question, answer their question, move on to the next talking point. So I think scripts are hugely important, and I attribute a lot of success to using scripts. And it's not like I'm like a robot. Like, it's me, it's my voice, and it's all the things I want to say without me word vomiting like I am now, where I'm word vomiting about scripts. And I've had coaches tell me, like, once I tell them that that's what I use, they're like baffled. They're like, I had no idea that you were using a script. I'm like, well, that's the idea. I mean, it's me, it's what I want to tell you, but I just need some help. So scripts. So I also only offer challenge packs. So if you believe in the power of Shakeology, I truly believe that that's the cornerstone of success with these programs. I was fit before I got involved with Beachbody. I knew what I was doing at the gym, but I wasn't having results. I mean, I kind of knew what I was doing at the gym. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't claim to be, but so once I threw in Shakeology, like, that was a game changer for me. It's a game changer for my nutrition, especially when I might be having like an off stomach day. I know I'm getting all the nutrients I'm getting. Shakeology is everything with these programs. So I only present challenge packs. I don't even offer that you can just get the program. So think to yourself, are you quick to mention that you don't have to get Shakeology if they balk at the price? I don't offer that route because I don't believe that they will get. I think that you can have great results, but I just think it's not the perfect triangle without Shakeology. I just truly believe that. And I just set it up as the only option, like, you know, so we're talking and I say, you know, now the other part of my challenge group is Shakeology. And I talk about Shakeology. I'm like, okay, so your total investment for this challenge group is X amount of dollars. Do you have it? I mean, it's longer than that, but do you have any questions before I get you the link to sign up? So Obviously, there are extreme circumstances for exceptions for that, and you can decide that. I don't know your clients, but typically, like 99% of the time, I'm only offering challenge packs. So when you're posting, when you're talking to people all the time, are you confident? Are you positive? I think this is huge because people can read how you're feeling. If somebody sends you an insincere message, you can tell, right? So it's the same thing if you're not confident, if you're unsure of yourself, if you feel like everything is hanging on this one person signing up, they're probably going to pick up on that. So whether you're nervous or whether you're confident, it will show in your conversations for sure. So if you're not confident in your knowledge, maybe you're new, fake it. Just be super confident and don't lie. If they ask you something that you don't know, then tell them that, hey, I'm new to this and I haven't asked that question. I'm excited I get to learn something too. Let me check with my awesome network of coaches and I will totally get back to you. Another way to sound more confident when you're talking is to take out the word, I don't have this as a bullet, I should have, but to take out the word just when you're talking. It creates I just used it. It creates a little self-doubt or unsureness when you're talking. So if you message people and say, I just wanted to check in on you, it makes it sound like you're just not really sure what you're doing, but that's just how it comes across. But if you say, hey, I wanted to check in and see how your goals are coming, you sound like you're totally knowing what you're doing, you're confident, you're in and out, you have a purpose with this conversation. It doesn't sound pushy, it doesn't sound salesy, you're concerned about them, and it's not like you're being shy, so think about that. Eliminate the word just out of your scripts. Use script. Like I said, be honest when you don't know, but figure it out and portray that in a positive, confident way. Are you positive in your posts? Being real and positive go together. Real and negative don't. So what I mean by that is it's important that we post things like our struggles, right? So if you're having a day where you just eat like total crap, there's a difference in posting that in a positive way and posting that in a negative way. And just don't be that another negative person on Facebook. I don't think any of us would mean to be, but just take a preview of it before you click post. Because let's use that example, if you ate like crap that day, spin it into, well, at least I got all my nutrients in my Shakeology today. Or, what I love about this network is I'm, held accountable and I'm back at it tomorrow. I'm not throwing in the towel, whatever. So spin a struggle into something positive. And even if it's just like, I'm just having a really crappy day, just don't be like a rain cloud. I think we all know, like, we can think of people or posts that we've seen. You can be real and yourself without being like grouchy, I think is what I'm trying to say. So be a person that you'd want to follow. Okay, inviting is so important. And I don't know why this is something I feel that feels hard or can feel icky sometimes to us, and it doesn't need to. So I'm going to talk to you about this method that I watched a video from an elite coach, and this just really stuck with me, and I've been using this since the first of the year, and I love it. It's very simple for me to track. It's very simple for me to follow and stay on top of without feeling overwhelmed. So every day I 5-3-2. I form 5 people, and then I invite 3 people. Seriously, invite, you have to. So what that looks like for me is I have done cold inviting, but I prefer to invite people that I've already built that relationship with. If I'm cold inviting, I probably have a a reason. But so after I've talked to them, I say, hey, so-and-so, how are you? I don't know if you've seen my health and fitness posts, but they probably have because it's everywhere. And I say, I've had amazing results both inside and out, which is kind of why I don't shut up about it. Would you be interested? And I know you would love it too. Would you be interested in joining my next challenge group? And then done. That's one person. And I know we can feel like, oh, I just don't want to invite because it can feel salesy. But if you keep in your heart that you are wanting to help people, that's what will come across to people. So don't worry. If your intention is sell, then change your intention. I know you can have monetary goals and stuff, but we do have to keep in mind the people involved. They are people. So invite. You have to, okay? 3 people every day. And the 2 is 2 coaches. So if you're just building discount coaches, check in with those discount coaches because they keep you stable and they are important, and sometimes we forget about them. And I love this method because I was forgetting about them, and I would just let them, they'd go in active, and I wasn't really okay with that, but I wasn't sure how to fix it, I guess. So it keeps me accountable to checking in regularly with my discount coaches and my working coaches. I'm usually talking to them, but just in case there's 2 in my planner every day, along with my 5 and 3, and it works really well. And then it's simple for me to pick the 3 people I'm going to invite. I look back and see who actually responded to a forming message and who did I have a good conversation with. So I pull from that. So it kind of like dominoes, and hopefully those people you're inviting eventually become those discount or working coaches. So it dominoes for sure. We've heard this all before. The money is in the follow-up for sure. So again, I use a script for my follow-ups. I keep a list of people for my follow-ups month to month. I use a spreadsheet, but just find a system that works for you. I use a system. So I use a 4-time follow-up system. And this was really hard for me, this next point, to grasp and be okay with. So after you follow up with them, just move on. Don't get yourself hung up on, I really, really, really want them to join a challenge group, or they would get me to 10 or they would get me to 5. Follow up and move on. Leave them alone. And when it's your follow-up day again, I do mine once a week, every Monday. So then I message them again on Monday. And it's okay. Just move on. Because also if you're feeling like they're everything, then that's kind of going to show in your energy and the way you're presenting. So I also have taught myself to not count on anyone. How many times has somebody told you that they're for sure going to sign up on payday? I joke to my coaches that whenever somebody tells me that I count them out for sure. And I just put them on a follow-up list. So don't count anyone in until you see that order. You can have in your mind, if 1, 2, 3 people sign up, that'll get me to 5, these people. Don't count on them. You still need to be doing your inviting every day because you can't count on anybody because life happens to people and nobody has Beachbody on the brain all the time except for us. So with that being said too, you're not annoying people when you follow up. This was a really big one for me. You're not annoying people when you follow up with them. If you're genuine, they will genuinely be thankful that you're following up with them. Because how many times have I've told somebody I'm going to do something and I just forgot. It's not like I didn't have the intention or I don't want to do it. Just nobody has Beachbody on the brain all the time except for us. And if they're annoyed with you, they'll probably just tell you or they'll block you. So don't worry about that. If your intention is pure, then they will see that for sure. And like Wendy had said, never stop pushing for the month. It can get to a point at the end of the month, and I've been guilty of feeling like this, where I'm like, oh, they're interested. Like, maybe I should just save them for the beginning of next month. No, don't do that. Don't stop yourself. Don't stop your momentum. It's super important to just keep pushing consistently through the end of the month. It's so important. Part of my goal is to have myself at Success Club 10 by the 15th of the month, so I can spend the second half of the month focusing on my team. But that doesn't mean I'm still not doing the 5-3-2 every day. It's just not as like pressing of a matter for me to get Success Club points, and helping my coaches get Success Club points for the second half of the month. But like I said, that process never stops, and they continue to come in, and people do come. They will come to you and be interested in what you're doing. So never ever stop pushing and inviting and using a call to action post here and there and following up and all of these things. So I think that was my last. Yep, that was my last slide. So
awesome, Rachel.
Thanks.
Takeaways, as always. I'm like writing stuff down as I go. So
oh, you're so sweet.
No, it's true though. Like, we all have different ways of how we run our business, and hearing from how others do it can kind of be a light bulb moment. You should never completely change your business, right? Based on what someone else said, but you should be able to say, okay, how am I struggling? What am I doing well? How can I incorporate some of these ideas? Because see, when people do well, you need to be studying them, studying how you can make it work for you. So awesome job. Let's pull up the chat, because I think your answers to those, and then I obviously, we might have different ideas about, how to answer that. But you want to start with Renee's question? What if they specifically ask about purchasing the base kit? How do you go about that?
Yeah, so people typically do, if they ask you about it. Oftentimes I found that people don't even necessarily know that Shakeology and the program go together. So that doesn't even really change the way my conversation goes. So I always start with their goals, and then I go into my story, what I offer them in a challenge group. Does this sound like something that will interest you? Yes. How much does it cost? And then I show them a video of what program I'm thinking for them. Or if they asked about a program, I might show them that one and one other that I think they might like. And then after they tell me which one, I just tell them, now the other part of my challenge is Shakeology. So I don't even make it like relevant that you can get them separate. I just don't even bring it up.
I just ignore it.
Yeah, right.
Like if someone asks me right away, like, it's a 21-day fix, $60, I don't even answer.
No.
Or like, I only want the 21-day fix. I don't need that other stuff. Then you ask questions. Like if ever anyone like comes to you and says, I want this, they really don't know. Like that's our job. That's like going into a specialized meat market and saying, give me a steak, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's a bad example, but what we do as coaches is to help specialize specifically for people's goals and what they need, not what they read on an infomercial or what their friend tried. It's how our relationship is almost more important than the product they think they want coming into the conversation. They don't buy a product, they buy you.
Exactly.
So awesome. Okay. So Christy says, I've been very conscious of that since I heard you talk about it, and it does sound better without it. What were you talking to there? I know when you typed it, I was like,
the word just. Was it the word just?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read it, and somebody had posted, I think Kathy had posted an article like last summer, and it totally just makes a difference in the way you come across. Like, I don't think any of us mean to come across like we're unsure, but it's just I keep using it, but I don't use it when I type. It's just a funny word. There were a couple other words, but that's a big one that people use.
It is. And I think we use it a lot so that we don't feel like we're as straightforward.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm just going to ask you just because then I don't seem as strong, like off-putting. Don't think I'm coming on too strong. But again, this is typically our issue. It's our struggle. Other people are not seeing that, but we are feeling, because we're talking to so many people, we feel like it's there, but it's an individual, relationship or conversation you have, and not using it, not backtracking, just kind of being in that affirmative and that positive state, and just isn't going to help you with that. So that was a good point to make. Okay, so I talk about this one to my coaches. Bree's question, like, what about the no big deal if you're not interested, but do you ever use that, Rachel? Do you ever use that approach?
I don't use that approach. Okay. I know it's been successful with some people, but I feel like that gives them an out to say, oh, you told me it's not a big deal if I'm not interested, I'm not interested. So when I ask people the way I present it, and I say, would you be interested in joining a challenge group? They probably have no idea really what a challenge group is. And so typically, with a pretty good response rate, I at least get people to say, well, what's a challenge group? So it at least gets the conversation going instead of thanks, but no thanks. So I don't use that.
I only use that if they've given me a specific no after we've gone through the script. I don't use that in anywhere in the beginning. I think this is a way to kind of, at least this is my perspective, obviously. This is a way for them to recognize that you're not just about the sale. Like, it's okay if this is not for you. I don't always know if I say if you're not interested, but this is okay if this isn't for you. I am still here to support you, and I will support you whether you buy anything from me or not. Mm-hmm. I say that a lot because I mean it. Like, I really do mean it. But it kind of does set people back where they're like, okay, she is still being nice. She's still going to let me in her free clean eating groups or whatever they are. But it's a way to kind of reset someone from thinking that you're just about the sell. So that's when I use it. I would never use it in the beginning of a conversation. I agree. Then it gives them an excuse. You're right. Like, well, I'm not interested. See ya.
Right.
So, cool. Okay. Bree has, okay. Kelly, Kelly's question is, if someone doesn't respond to your first invite, do you still follow up a week after?
No, I don't. I might form them again later. I'm not saying might. I do continue to form with them and keep the conversation going so they realize I'm not all about the sale. I'm about the relationships. So, but I don't do a follow-up because they have my first follow-up references being interested in a challenge group. And if they haven't said that they're interested, then I don't start using that follow-up script.
For sure. And then the follow-up script, they are two very different things, just like you said. If you're forming and someone doesn't respond, you go back to their page, you like or comment, you see what's going on with them, and then you put them back on their list, either for next week or for next month. And I even have that in my follow-up list, form so-and-so on this day, not just follow up, but only specifically form, because I don't want to be someone that's just hitting people over and over again with messages that aren't responding to it.
Right.
Make anyone feel good.
Right.
But if we have had a conversation where we have talked about goals or have gotten through any part of the script, then they get in to my follow-up plan, which I just posted that, I think, in the Fierce Focus Tribe, that training. If anyone wants that, if they're not in our Emerald and Above group yet, it's a really good resource where it's a script of how to follow up for the next 3 weeks, and then the following month, how to get into that type of formation. Do you follow that pretty specifically, the follow-up script, once you do get in conversation with them, or what do you use?
Yeah, I do. And I use an Excel sheet, and it's up at the top, follow-up 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, yeah, I mean, I have to have these systems. Otherwise, it's I don't know what I've said. And, you don't want to be spending time changing your words and blah, blah, blah. So I'm very diligent in using the third follow-up script for the third follow-up.
Yeah. And then I also have Bonnie Ingalls, when people don't respond about coaching. I have that saved as another column in my follow-up script. And actually I've been moving everything over to Streak, and that makes it super easy too, just because it's right there up at the top. You actually can tell it what script you want it to do the next time, and it's saved with the person because it references that.
So cool.
Yeah. So, but it's Streak is wonderful, but there's a lot of pre-work that needs to go into using it before it's actually fully implemented. So Christy just had a quick follow-up, but I posted, it's a training, Christy, that I posted in Fierce Focus Tribe about following. It's a follow-up training. It's also on my Google Drive if you want to look for it. But basically, it's one of Sarah Try's calls with one of her coaches, and she goes through how she follows up with people, and she gives you her script from 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and then a month after that. Okay, so Bree has another question. What about the first response to a challenge group or program? And when someone says, I'm all set, what do you say?
I say something like, it's not for everybody or something like that. I gauge it depending on the person, but I say something, positive. And then I turn the conversation back to them and keep forming so that I don't come across salesy and icky, oh, I was just talking to you to see if you wanted to do this with me, but that's the only reason I was talking to you. So I just spin it back around, and then because you've been talking to them, they're probably going to see more of your posts, so I still take it as a win. So
right. It's amazing how many people give me the I'm all set, and then you continue to talk to them like you just said, and the next thing you know, in a day or two, they're ready to buy from you, because
right.
so many times they think you're just approaching, right, just because they think you have to, or you're just reaching out to everyone. And at the end of the day, most people are not all set. Let's be honest.
Right.
Even those of us that feel like we are rocking life, which I don't know how many of us feel that way all the time, but I mean, your energy or your fitness or your time or, your health or maybe your husband's health or whomever, not everyone has it just free flowing, easy street all the time. And sometimes if they see a post about it, or when someone says, I'm all set, I agree. You kind of say, well, that's awesome. I wish I could feel that way every day. Or, maybe bring up something that that they aren't happy with. You know, and you don't have to be straightforward and rude about it, but and you could even make it your own. If you saw something about how they said they were tired, you'd be like, oh, that's awesome. I know I've been feeling so tired lately myself that this is something that's really helped me. Just make it, I say stuff about myself all the time, which if I know I have an affinity with someone else or, a similarity, then it kind of opens up the door a little bit more too, if you don't come across as so perfect or put together sometimes.
Yeah. And if they truly think that, they're all set right now, or if you get through your script and they have objected to the price and they're for sure not going to be a person that you help that month, then they need to go on a follow-up list for the next month. They have to. And I say to them, it's totally cool. I felt found, that. And when they're still I can't right now, budget. And I say, no problem or whatever. Do you mind if I check in on you next month? And everyone always says, yeah, that'd be great. And for example, I think she's on this call, but one of my coaches who is doing so well, she just started, she was going to get a challenge from me 9 months ago. And I still talk to her every month. We're both teachers, so we have plenty to talk about anyways. But we always kept that conversation going. And now she is coaching and helping other people. So it does, people don't mean no, they mean not right now, right? We know this. So it's really important to continue to form them and continue building those relationships, because that builds trust. And that really might be why they're saying no. Maybe they're just not sure and they're scared. So
it's true. I mean, they say the average person takes 7 to 10 touches. I say that, not figuratively, obviously, but just before they start to believe you or see you or trust you or think that it's real. And some people have a lot of quick wins. And I think that's the hard thing sometimes. Some people are doing and you feel like you're doing those exact same actions. There's always a different way you can kind of tweak it or think through a different way to approach it. But at the end of the day, comparing yourself to anyone else, it just doesn't help anyone. Like, we all have just different schedules with our business and our lives, and it's hard. It's really hard sometimes. But gosh, so does anyone else have any other questions? Because obviously Rachel is like a wealth of knowledge. The script Rachel uses, I feel like it's extremely similar to the team script I share. I got mine tweaked from Anita Myron, and
so did I.
Okay, so basically
it's the same.
Similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I would encourage all of you to do. I can send you my team script. Rachel can send you her team script. You can grab Anita's, but you have to make it your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your coaches and your customers are connecting with you, and
And I say things about Scott in there, so that would be weird.
That'd be weird. Right? Like, I have things about my 3 kids postpartum. No one would hear that.
That would be weird if I sent that to somebody.
Yeah. So, and that's like, that should be the first thing you really do if you start growing your business. Start owning it, right? Start treating this like you have a $1 million business, and you are responsible for connecting with those people. And so changing that first part of the script into being your story should be something that you do. Save it in Evernote. You have the free version of Evernote, and then you have it there, and you can then send it to your team. I mean, I literally send that script every single day to someone. Yeah. And so that's a really valuable part as you grow. And if you're not an emerald yet, you should still probably do it, but it will be something that will help your business grow, and it'll be something you'll use every day for the rest of your business. And
seriously.
So that would be something I would also do.
And I say, I use my business, I use Google Drive, and I have like the Google Docs app on my phone. So literally copy paste. And so I know Wendy uses Evernote, I use Google Docs. So it's just as simple to pull up and copy paste, no matter if I'm on my computer or my phone.
Yes, I use Google Docs for a lot of things, but
yeah,
this one, I don't know why. I feel like, I don't know. We all have our thing, right?
Yeah, we all have our
thing. Okay, and I'm not as organized as Rachel. As a lot of you know, I'm like hot mess, running around, just trying to keep up with life many days. So, okay, with that being said, I'm trying to think what I'm going to give away today. I have some Lululemon, or I also have like some coffee, Shakeology coffee, if any of you guys don't have that. So we'll see who wins, and then message me about what you think you'd like. Or I have, oh my gosh, I have a lot of stuff. So maybe I need to get some more tanks in that too. Does everyone like tanks, or would you prefer like, a Lulu headband, or I don't know, maybe some performance line stuff? Like, I don't know. You can type it in, I guess, if you want. But I mean, I have all that stuff. It's just hard to decide what kind of drives everyone. I appreciate you staying on these call all the way to the end. This will grow your business. A prize is just something little. It will grow your business in more ways than you know. Oh my gosh, I remember before I pick someone's name. It's Wednesday. And if you guys don't know how to check your sponsorship drill down, please reach out to me. Please reach out to your upline. You need to learn how to do it. So for example, just to put this out there, I lost rank last week, not because I had any of my Rockstar Diamond coaches drop, but because I had 3 leads return. They were fraudulent leads last month. They were returned this month, and they were returned Wednesday, which meant my Star Diamond PV dropped below 200. And so guess what? You can't be a Star Diamond if you don't have over 200 PV. Even though I had multiple orders, these were really big orders from leads that were returned. And it's something that I didn't even think to look at because, I put everything in my second business center and whatever. It doesn't affect me financially, but it was a real like, what is going on when you check your, Thursday and you see a very different rank from what you went to bed with on Wednesday. Okay, so what this means as an emerald, you need 50 PV to be an active emerald. You need 2 active coaches on your left leg, on your right leg. As a diamond, you need 100 PV. You need 8 active coaches, at least 4 on left, 4 on right. Active emeralds on both left and right. As a star diamond, you need at least 200 PV, at least 5 coaches on each leg. And then it depends on what rank you are, but you need to be even with a diamond on each leg at 2-star. You need 2 diamonds on your weak leg at 5-star. And then we can talk more about that later, but don't forget to look. don't forget to encourage your coaches to look, because things like this can really set people back financially, and you can lose some big things. Christy doesn't even know what 200 PV is. See, this is big. Don't feel alone. I actually didn't. 200 PV is from your personal orders, but because I have a second CBC now, I do all of my Shakeology and all my orders through that, so then I earn Team Cycle bonus off of myself. So PV is personal orders, and it's also customer orders. And again, I have 99% of my customers sign up as coaches. That does not count as PV, everyone. You do not get PV from coach signups. So basically, PV can be from recurrent Shakeology orders. That's another way you can get PV. And also, I put all of my new coaches and customers in my second CBC. My first CBC still needs to have all those requirements for rank. So that's just really something to think through. I missed a 5-star bonus last year when I was pushing at 5-star because I didn't have enough PV in my second CBC to count as a diamond. So this is obviously something that's a recurring theme for me, to not check my PV. I think I would have learned by now. But don't forget to do it. Don't forget to remind your coaches to do it. Okay. So with that being said, if you have any questions, I know it's kind of confusing for some newer coaches, but if you have any questions, just message in the group or message me, okay? Or your upline, we can all talk about it together if you're confused. Okay, so winner today is Stephanie Michalek. Yes, girl. Okay, so message me. You get on all these calls, so it's always so nice to see new faces and people who are committed and showing up. So message me about what you think you'd like to get, and otherwise, have a safe rest of your week. I don't know if everyone's getting this crazy weather like we are here in Michigan, but thank you, Rachel. You're awesome. I appreciate it so much, and I'll get the recording up as soon as possible. Cool? Okay.